Hello! Oh, that's wrong. I have my microphone playing back in my head. Let's see. There we go. Alright, fixed. How's everyone doing today? Should be able to hear me okay. If the music's too loud, let me know. But yeah, today we're going to be playing around with EditorTitles version 2. Going through some of the new features. And more importantly, bug testing stuff before I do the full release. So I hope to get that out probably Monday. Probably Monday is the time that we post that. But today, if you guys have any questions about other stuff, Fusion or DaVinci Resolve related, feel free to ask them. We can go over those. Gonna be a pretty chill stream, just having some fun. And I'm kind of hoping to crash DaVinci, because then I can find the problems and fix them before Monday. But we'll see. Rano, how's it going? Rano? What type of A is it? I don't know. I'm gonna go with Rano. How you doing? Good to see ya. Alright. So we can open DaVinci Resolve here. So, EditorTitles version 2. The big... Oh, never mind. I thought I had it up. Web templates. EditorTitles. There it is. All of the titles. We have 250 titles. It's all the same ones from the previous version. They were just rebuilt completely from the ground up. Rano is how you do it. Okay. Cool. Sounds good. Thank you. But yeah, a lot of titles. I rebuilt all of them, so we got some new frameworks in the background. They all have the new version of the anim engine. We've got some new features like text alignment, as well as text wrapping. Finally got those included. And then just some nice speed improvements and a few things here and there. And then you guys got to check out the full video when that comes out on Monday. I just got that recorded before doing stream. But yeah, so we're going to go through the packs kind of one by one, just see if we can find anything that's broken, and then maybe fix it. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. Major Editing, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Good to see ya. Basic titles, yeah. So these ones are pretty similar, but of course we have text wrapping, and I should show you guys how that works right away. So we can do basic flip with a bunch of text. And if we have 2 lines, we can go ahead and align this any side. That's a really, let's see, let's put this over here. It's not that dramatic of an example. All right, there we go. So we can align it, super easy. And we can also use text wrapping, so we can turn that on and then, to set the width that we want the text to be. If you have the Fusion overlay on, you can see that. So pretty cool. Are these plugins made just with nodes available in Fusion, or am I using Lua scripting in Fusion or C++? For the most part, all of these are just completely Fusion. You can make these, because it's all Fusion, then with some expressions. Like I'm using some, if you've seen the new on-change feature, which lets you run a script while a control is being moved or being updated, there's some of that in these tools. So technically that's running a Lua script. The anim engine is all just a complicated expression, so most of it is just able to be built inside of Fusion. And then stuff like the timer titles and the credit titles rely heavily on scripts. Because the whole timer framework is just a whole complicated mess. Only challenge with the logo titles is not really being able to customize them. In what ways? Because we can actually take a look at that. I have updated those. They do have some kind of cool new features. And before we do that, I should get some logos imported. Let's see. I'm going to first just grab my logo. Whip templates. We'll do both of those. And then I should have just a ton of social media logos. Yeah, there we go. Cool. How can you create lines in the inspector like this? Yeah, so let me show you. Like these that I have here, these just little dividers. It's a separator control that you need. It doesn't show up in the normal edit controls layout. Look at that. There we go. So like edit controls, it's a separator control, which I don't think that they have in here. So a way I always do it instead of adding it in is just like going to you'll probably have a transform node in your templates. So if you just go to like the settings tab, you can reference one of these dividers here. So if you just reference transform 1 as an input, and then you publish blank 5. So for example, here, let me show you. So let's say you're creating a macro and you have a transform node in it. If you come down to the comment tab, just find one of these blank objects like blank 4, blank 5, because these are the separators. So you can publish those in your macro and then you can just move it around how you want. So that's an easy way to do it. Let me know if that makes sense. Logo positioning, size, square versus round, all of that. All right, let's take a look at the new ones and just see if these work. It's going to be pretty similar to the existing version as far as that goes. One of the big differences with logo titles. Hey, Tyler, thank you. Keep it up. I absolutely will. Thanks for the $5. What was I saying? Yeah, logo titles. You can use a media in now. So you can actually just find a logo. Let's see. What do we do? X. Drag the X logo over, put it in clip name, and that shows up. We still have the padding. You have to use a square image. Well, you don't. You don't have to use a square image, but all the titles are formatted that way. So I'd recommend doing it. But as long as the logo itself is centered in your original file, everything should work okay. And then you have all your corner radius for the other tools to adjust that kind of stuff. What am I dropping? VFX tutorials. Best one I did was the Thor one, surface tracking. Yeah, that was a fun one to do. I gotta do some more. I've been really busy with the editor titles update here, so I'm gonna try and get back into making some more videos. If they updated the macro editor, that one, that'd be awesome. I haven't seen the nuke one, but basically if they have two columns, they have one column that you can just select all the controls and it puts it into the right column, and then the right column you can rearrange it. Even just doing something as simple as that would be awesome. Yeah, so for those tuning in, goal today is to find all of the bugs, every single one in editor titles, or as many as I can find, and get those fixed before, hopefully, a Monday release. So I got my sticky notes, and we're gonna see what we can find. So in doing this for long enough, I tend to know the main areas that I've messed up in the past, and I can look for those. And I already found one. Look at that. That's great. First title. There should be a on-screen position control here, but there isn't. What a great start. Basic, flip. Actually, we can just change this. Let's fix it. I know exactly what the problem is. Usually in the collection, whatever the first title is the first one that I build. And so that one tends to have the most issues, and then I refine it by the second one. So you guys get to see a bit of the behind the scenes code here. Alright, basic flip. This is the template back here. And yeah, whoever was asking that question about using those dividers, you can see I just have an input right here that's referencing a transform node, and then the blank 5 source. So that's how we do it. But we need to find the text offset control right here, and then add in some viewer controls. So we're just going to make this into a group editor, and then we're just going to do it manually instead of using code. Alright, so it's on text 1. Man, I love this new right click on controls and do edit control. It's amazing. But we want a crosshair control, okay, and that's the fix. Put that back in here, set it back to a macro, and that one's done. Let's see what else we can find. Created so many plugins in 1920 by 1080. After I switched to 1080 by 1920, position is missed. How can I fix this problem? It depends on how you have it set up. Because Fusion's coordinate system, it's, you know, 0 on the left side of the screen, 1 on the right side, 0 on the bottom, 1 on the top. So like if you're working with a shape, I can show you an example here. So clean title here, it shows up nice and formatted in 16 by 9, but if I switch to 9 by 16, everything still works fine, but the default formatting messes up, so you have to correct it. So if stuff like that's happening, there's not too much you can do. But if you can describe what's going on a bit more, it could be a different issue. In which case you just need some expressions to do some math to fix it. I just crash it, switching back to 4K or 16 by 9. Gotta say your work is released more bug-free than almost any from those others. I appreciate it. I put in a lot of time trying to prevent stuff like this from happening where it just crashes. End task and make a note about that. Because that's one of those annoying ones. Crashing when changing aspect ratio that sometimes I can't fix. Aspect, and that was clean title 1. Oh, it switched. Okay, we're good. I might have been a little bit premature in first closing DaVinci there. Is selling macros and DaVinci stuff your full-time job? It is. Yep. So I mean, technically YouTube, because YouTube is the way I promote everything, but my main income stream does come from whip templates. What's your opinion on liquid glass? By the way, if you made a tutorial in Fusion, what you do in general? I made it. Yeah. I don't really have an opinion on liquid glass. I'm an Android user, so I don't really care. I had a lot of fun making jokes about it in that video, which was really fun. From what I saw, the initial implementation of it was pretty rough as far as just accessibility goes, and seeing, like, being able to read stuff, but I think they've done a good job of refining that. Like, but again, I don't really care too much, so it's whatever. We are on basic titles. Okay. So we'll have that position. We have wrapping, that works. Text style for this, none, outline, or bar. Can add in some thickness, change the color, that all works. Making templates, making YouTube, making gains. Slowly but surely. Anim engine, that's all. Yeah, with a lot of these templates, the way I typically go about doing them is I make a framework for them. So I make a basic title framework, a call out title, modern title, clean title, whatever that might be. And I just stress test it like crazy. I do everything I can to try and break it. I make sure it's working. And then I go through and make all of the titles. So like in the case of basic titles, all of them have these text style controls. All of them have the drop shadow. All of them have the anim engine. All of them have these additional animations. All of them have motion blur. So I go through and build those, make them really good. And then I just go through and add in different animations or in like slight little variations. But that way I pretty much know that if those are working in one template, they're working in all of them. And I can get the bugs fixed on the first one, so that way if I find one down the road, I don't have to fix 20 titles, you know? So I think basic titles is going to be pretty good. I do want to go through and just make sure that that's wrong. I want to make sure that I have the viewer controls in all of them. Do I use Reactor plugins? There's a lot of stuff both for visual effects and motion graphics, like some basic drag and drop graph. I have Reactor installed. I think I have Xglow. I think that's the only one I have installed right now. But most of the stuff I just end up doing inside of Fusion. As I start exploring some more visual effects stuff and doing that for tutorials and whatnot, I might download some more. But the issue with that, because I used to use a lot more Reactor plugins, but if stuff just like goes out of date or it stops getting developed, now my tutorials is worthless because nobody can follow it because it has a a template that's broken. So unless I'm making the template, or I can just do it in Fusion, you know, that's typically the way that I like to go. Should also make sure the animations are working on these ones. All right, any pack in particular that we should look at next? Anyone curious about one of them? We got 9 different packs to look through. Up to date, DaVinci Resolve 20.2, but I'm so frustrated with Windows 11 messages saying DaVinci Resolve is not responding. Do you want to wait or close? Spinning circle. Are you seeing the same? I definitely think DaVinci Resolve has gotten less reliable as time's gone on, which is just because they've added so many new features and are going pretty quick with it. I don't know if it's specifically a Windows 11 issue, or if I'd assume the same stuff happens on Windows 10. But I have it turned on that I can just right-click on, you can't see my taskbar here. I go to my second monitor, right-click, and then I can just do End Task right there without opening Task Manager. So if it freezes for more than a few seconds, I cut my losses and restart it, because it only takes a few seconds. Do you use any other software for 3D outside of Fusion, like Blender or Houdini? I've just started picking up Blender again. There are some projects I want to do with that. Tyler's going to be proud of me. Let me show you guys my donut. I just did the donut tutorial. Look at that. Amazing donuts. Yep, Tyler's going to be so happy now. And man, the last time I did this was on my old PC, and I am absolutely loving this 5090. It is so good. Look at that. This is the full shaded view. It's crazy. But anyways, those are my nice donuts. Got a nice little animation. Looks real good. So I'm doing some stuff for my church's youth group. They have a retreat coming up, so I want to do some cool graphics and stuff for it. And so that's why I wanted to learn Blender. And then it's also just an excuse for other work stuff. But anyways, don't want to save that. Need to redo that donut tutorial a few more times. I went through it. Need to try it again. Or focus on retention. Yeah, this was my 3rd time doing it. He has like a compilation of it that you just put all the videos together. So I did that one. It's like 4.5 hours long, I think. I just watched the thing at 1.75 speed, I think, and just went straight through it. I had already watched it some, so I had a vague understanding of Blender, but just a refresher was nice. Blender is awesome. Been using it since 2021. It's free. That's crazy. Yeah, and they've been crushing it with the development recently. I've seen some pretty cool stuff and just how much they've sped it up and added a lot of cool new features. So I'm excited to get into it. You know those spoons and plant assets too? Yeah. Yeah, he has those in the video. He has you import them. I apologize if there's a lot of noise. The garbage truck's right outside the window right now. I know it's a dumb question, but do you think AE is better in motion graphics than Fusion? Yes and no. For certain motion graphics workflows, After Effects can be better. I know. I don't think I'm allowed to say that as a Fusion user, but for certain motion graphics stuff, After Effects is definitely better. But you can do pretty much anything that After Effects can inside of Fusion. After Effects just has years of being motion graphics focused, while Fusion has had years of being visual effects focused, more so. So you can do the same thing in both, is kind of what I'm trying to say. I lost my spot in the chat. Oh, making a music video, that's fun. GeoNodes is crazy. They're going after Houdini. I should make a Blender channel in the future. That's a pretty saturated market already. There's a lot of people doing stuff way better than what I could do, especially coming into the game late. But I definitely want to get better at it, and maybe we do some more Blender plus DaVinci tutorials. Google's how to ban streamer from their own channel. Hey, I said it once. After Effects is slightly better in motion graphics, occasionally. I'm gonna add a ton of qualifiers to that, so I don't get in as much trouble from Tyler. Yeah, Tyler sums it up there. It's all about how you use the program and how well versed you are. Like I could do way better motion graphics in Fusion because I've used it for so much longer than After Effects. Do I have an inside scoop regarding the scene extension feature Blackmagic Design mentioned during the... I do not. I don't really have any inside scoops about much. I have some contacts at Blackmagic Design, but they don't really tell me about new stuff beyond like when it actually gets announced, which is fine. I'm okay with that. Am I winning? Yes. What am I winning at though? I don't know. It has more resources and plugins, but nodes will always win regardless of the modularity. That's one thing that I hate about After Effects is masks. Anytime I have to use masks, it's so annoying. You have to make like 5 copies of everything to do little things, and nodes are awesome because they have unlimited outputs. You can connect anything as a mask anywhere. Really, really flexible. But yeah, like Rano said, it has a lot of tutorials, a lot of plugins, so it's easier in that sense to do it. Premiere has been copying so much from Resolve. They copy the layout inspector tab. Yeah, Premiere's needed to catch up. They've been losing a lot of their market share to DaVinci, like specifically in the like freelance and just like people are off on their own doing stuff. You know, still in the corporate world, I think a lot of people are still forced to use Premiere because of just like that's what the job requires, and for collaboration, they need to use something like that. This one's broken too. Tracking. Let's fix it. Edit control, add a crosshair control, sweet. All right, now that works. We have that. That looks weird. Why is it doing that? That's not right. I think it's adding it twice. Text offset. Well, that should be it. Oh, I think that's just a Fusion glitch. That's what it is. I had that before. All right, 2 fixed. We've killed 2 bugs. Gotta keep like a running total. Can I think of any reason why the Steam template in an FBX model would cause Fusion to eventually crash and the project to not open back up? What do you mean by like a Steam template? Like, is that just one of those like it's not an actual mesh? I forgot what the name of it is, but like a cloud type thing. What I would recommend for sure, because yeah, what Tyler said, they're really heavy on the system. So what I would do is just make sure you have project backups enabled. So that way, if something like that happens, you can just restore a version from 5 or 10 minutes ago. And that way you can get back into the project. VDB. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. That sounds right. Or that was what I was thinking of. Tyler's right. Again. FBX is horrible. It's a format made by Autodesk, and it's outdated and super finicky. Alembic is better. Yeah. Well, Fusion has support for both Alembic and USD now, so maybe try doing that. That could help. It'll work 10, 20 minutes, and then just crashes. Yeah. Oh, the Steam template in Fusion. Oh, okay. I see. That makes more sense. Is that the like the rocket one that you're talking about, or is that a different one? Maybe I'm in the wrong spot. Particles. Is there just a Steam one? Oh yeah, there we go. See if it crashes. This is a weird resolution that it's outputting in. It's pretty cool. Mario, what's up? Quick question. What's the best way to use two whip magnifiers together while blurring / darkening the background without doing the masking manually? There is not a way to do that without manually masking it. That is something that could be added, though. Similar to like whip highlight, how you can use multiple inputs. I should get some screen recording footage. Actually, I think I have this with proxy somewhere. Does that have a proxy? No, that's weird. All right, whatever. Whip magnify. I always keep forgetting about this new shortcut. The shift space shortcut. It's pretty nice. Yeah, so I don't know what you could do is if you, which I think you mentioned you probably do already. But if we're dimming the background, blurring the background, and you want to use two of these, we could duplicate it, you know, have a second one, let's say over here, and then on one of them, like on the bottom one, you just have to come in and crop this entire thing. Still not perfect. Oh, you need to crop both of them, that's why. Then you need to crop the left one. So yeah, I mean, it's a lot of manual work, but you know, if you line that up right, you can probably get it to look okay. That is something I can add to the list of stuff to maybe implement there in the future. That'd be a good idea. DaVinci Resolve V21 is all automation. We'll see. I got no idea what they're gonna add. Hopefully a bunch of cool stuff. Have you guys used any of the lens flares that Fusion comes with? I've played with them a long time ago. I used to always use Lens Master Flare by Now FX. Totally blanking on the name. But I don't think he supports it anymore, and I don't know if it really works. It's under templates. Fusion, lens flares. Let's look at some of these. It's just like a big hotspot. Do you know, are they all like built off of the same templates over here? Like, do they all have the same? Yeah. It's all the same, like, fuse in the background. It just has different configurations. I guess it'd be cool to play around with this and just, you know, see what you can all make. That's crazy. Oh, is this a fuse or is this a macro? This is it's a macro. Is it? No. No, it must be a fuse or just a built-in tool. Yeah, it's not a macro. was wondering if we could break it open and see how it's built. Could I add tracking to whip highlight, or are there any issues with implementing it? The biggest issue is just the differences between whip magnify and whip highlight. Like whip highlight has the 2 point controls. So I mean, you could. I just don't know how well that would work. Unfortunately, with all of that, the tracker is a little too simple on the edit page. Like, it's hard to go in and correct something if it messes up. So I try not to use it too often. I'll think on that. Thanks for the suggestion, though. We need more edit and Fusion page updates. They keep adding features to the cut and fairlight pages. Most people don't use those. Yeah, that was true for like version 17, like 18, I think, but I think in version 19 and 20, they've added a bunch to the edit page and Fusion. Not as much as I would like to Fusion, but they've definitely been working on it some. And they're going a lot faster with their update schedule now, which is pretty cool. Difference between fuses and macros, any advantages? Macros are definitely easier to develop. I think theoretically you could get fuses to run faster, because it's all like it's you need to program Lua in the background. You can get a lot more advanced with it. I haven't really done too much work with that, and in the past it's a little bugged. Because I was looking at possibly making like a version of Whip Animate from a fuse, so that way you can maybe get faster performance, and you could also use it on the Fusion page. But it was a really, really weird issue that, like, let me grab a logo. When I was using the transform functions that it has, I would scale it down, and once it got to a certain scale, it would just start like sliding off to the side. Really strange. Like it would still scale down, but it was like the pivot point was also being moved. So it has some weird quirks like that I still don't know if they fixed. It's been a while, but like that alone was enough that, you know, I can't even use it. Can't do anything with it. Yeah, fuses are code, macros are nodes. How can I create multiple tabs like for text mask like you created in the inspector using code? Basic way, like, so you can, let's see, I'm on this one. So you're saying having like an extra tab up here in the inspector. An easy way to do that, if I copy this, so you can take the actual setting file and then just paste it in the code. And with any of these up here, you can just add in like another qualifier, like just do page and then let's do size. And that should put it on its own page. Yep. So the issue with that is whenever you set a page, it'll put all of the tools or all of the controls on that page until you change it, or until it changes it. So I would also need to come to the second one and just set this back to be on the controls page. And now we just have the one control on the size tab. So that's a way to do it. When you're actually editing the controls, it creates a bunch of stuff on the node itself in user info or user controls, and you can define it down there too. But it's just a base level in the macro. You can just type it in that way. That the switch node is as good as switching it with the code. Oh yeah. Yeah, which is awesome. Because I mean it's so much simpler to just use the switch node. And yeah, it basically works to just bypass everything. I didn't want to out you in front of everyone, but we got a Mr. Who's the Boss editor here today. Pretty cool. does a great job. And he uses EditorCollection, so that's fun. What fusion should I have? Something like a trapcode sound keys. Yeah, I've been waiting for Fusion to implement audio. Like, I mean, that's been something that we've been talking about. Like, is it going to be in this update? Is it going to be in this update? We've been talking about that since like version 16. So maybe finally in version 21 we'll get it. Man, this one's working too. Here, we can look at the user controls. It's a bit harder to do inside of a saved macro because everything's just a little bit more compressed. But so like here is all the code for the text node inside of the tools. And down here we have user controls, which is basically any modification that we make to the node. So any controls that we add, any controls that we change. And it formats it all into one line here, but if you want, you can, you know, separate it all out into different lines like this. And so these are all the different things that we can use to define the controls, like what the control type is, what state it's in, what customization options it has, that kind of stuff, what page it's on. I'm just making this a little bit prettier so that way you guys can see it. All right, but anyways, so like this is the checkbox that I added. It shows the code that it actually executes. In here this is where you also can define what page it's on. I think it's ICS control page equals, and then controls. So you can add that to the actual controls on the node to define what page you want it to be on. But I need to come to the text offset here. And we'll reference this one to see what I need to add. All right, we have name, data type, and input control. So we need to add these two. So these two are going to define the on-screen control for it. So now, it's not working. I don't know. We're just going to do that manually. I don't want to spend all the time messing around with that. Oh, that's weird. I think it broke something. We're just going to hit undo a bunch. I definitely deleted a comma somewhere that I shouldn't have. EditorCollection is the best paid pack out there. Not paid promotion at all. I appreciate that. There's an audio spectrum visualizer and reactor. Yep. Yeah, there's just some unfortunate limitations with that. That it has to be like a WAV file under 2 megabytes or whatever. I really want something that you can just make dynamic, that you can pull in an audio track and it just updates based on that. That way you can make like a visualizer preset and someone can just throw it on the edit page and it updates. Or you can have a text preset that'll bounce to the text or something. If you have a minute, could you show me how I could implement a tracker in a text preset? Yeah, go ahead and send that to me. Shouldn't be too difficult. Use the switch node in my next macro to make a drop down and switch between effects. Yep. Yeah, I'm actually using that in glitch titles to switch between the two effects now. Just a switch node makes it way easier than having to use the code to manually reconnect inputs. Someone made a new audio visualizer? Okay. Is that in Reactor? Oh, also, have you guys heard of Fundelete? I don't know if that's hooked up. Yeah, it is. There we go. Someone in the Discord server made this and I installed it. It's amazing. So if you have a bunch of nodes, it just knocks them out of the way. It's so much fun. I have the keyboard shortcut to shift backspace, so it doesn't do it every time, but yeah, it just like explodes them and sends them flying. This is how you waste a bunch of time. Oh, it's on his website. Yeah, let's take a detour and see if we can implement a tracker. Oops. So I assume this is the saved macro then. Let's just use Open Sans. That's pretty cool. I haven't seen this template before, so it's very fun. Oh, you can have it animate on. That's pretty cool. I feel like I'm watching like a Mr. Who's the Boss video now. Anyways, so you want a tracker on this. Basically, what I would do is have a like a transform node after everything, and this can be your like tracker apply, whatever you want to call that. And then you would add in a media in node that would pull in the background. So let's actually add in some video. Let's say we use this. So that way you could place it over video. And then this pulls it in, this media in. Pull video, let's call it that. And then you'd have the tracker connected to this. And then this does not need to be connected to anything. So that can just be placed off to the side. So what you can do then is if you guys all have the studio version, I just use the IntelliTracker. From this tracker node, you'll want to publish all of these controls at the top. And then you also need to, like if we look at the macro editor, so you need these ones right here, all of these, and then you also want all of the pattern stuff. So pattern 1, pattern width, pattern height. I don't think you might need the center. No, you don't need track center. Just the pattern and search stuff. And you'll need those on your, like in the macro somewhere, otherwise you won't get the on-screen controls. So you need those so that way you can adjust it. You need these. And then what I would do is just have some button to actually enable the tracker. And in this node, all you need to do is go tracker 1.tracked center 1. Oh, never mind. IntelliTracker does not work with the background media source, so you do have to use a standard tracker. All right, so you have a tracker, track center 2, and so basically what you do is you add all of those controls and then you make it so you can just enable and disable this node to either apply or take away the tracker, if that makes sense. So that's the gist of it. If you have any more questions about it, let me know. How can you add the logo to your inspector showing it at the top? You have to use a... I'm trying to remember. Asher Rowland might have a video on that, on how to do it. Because basically you need to convert everything into a... Oh, what's the word? Base 64. The image needs to be converted to base 64. There's a certain resolution that it needs to be at, and then you just embed it basically as text in the control. Yeah, so check out Asher. He'll have all the detail about that. Try the wobble, adjust the wobble point. Missed that message. Let's do it. The wobble strength. Oh, the pivot. Wow. Very fancy. That's really cool. These are some cool designs. Yeah, but then you've got all the different animations. Awesome. Yeah. Well, if you're running any trouble at getting the tracker implemented, just let me know. Yeah, his macro creator does it for you as well. You know, that might be a better option as opposed to learning all the stuff about, you know, the different pages. You can use his macro editor and then just watch what it does to the code. You can kind of figure it out. All right, so I think Y stretch is going to be broken here. Oh, yeah, that's broken. And I lost all the titles. Basic titles. Y stretch. Let me make sure I fix this one first. Nope. I got distracted. How's the music been sounding for the stream? I set up side chaining, so I don't know if it's too intense or not intense enough. So I'm just curious how that's working. It was just a quick experiment a few minutes before the stream started, so I didn't really get much opportunity to test it. This one's also named the wrong thing. Alright, that one is all fixed. And I broke the last ones. All of these ones are broken. This is why I test stuff. Make sure that I don't release it like this. I'm sure a few things are gonna slip through. When I'm doing 250 titles, it's hard to get each one of them perfect, but as many of them as I can, I want to be good. Sounds perfect. Awesome. He didn't notice I had music until I said something. Yeah, and if it's distracting or anything, you know, just let me know. Hey, William, how's it going? Good to see you here. Got a quick question. You made an effect. That's an adjustment clip. Same time. Yeah, so as long as it's built in Fusion, you can save it as a generator. Like that's how my whip panel effect works. Let's get some video. So it shows up as a generator, which means I can take it and place it above a clip. But if you notice it moves the video in the background. It'll push it while animating it on. And so the basic setup for that, like you can use an adjustment clip or a fusion clip, but your media in node that's pulling in the information just needs to be set to background. So that pulls it in, and then in Fusion I can like zoom in, I can move it around, and that shows up on the edit page. And then in that macro you can just layer extra stuff on, like the panel or sidebar or whatever that is. Alright, basic titles is done. Bug tested. And yeah, so callout titles too, these all have trackers built into them. And so that same setup I was talking about is how I did it here. I just have a little bit of polish on the UI side of things. So I can just position where I want the tracker to be. And then I can just do track bidirectional. And then I can use semi-attached or fully attached. So semi-attached is just going to attach the callout point. And then fully attached is going to move the entire callout title. And then I would obviously need to come in here and just, you know, shift stuff around so that way it shows up. But this is what I settled on for the UI of the tracker. And I have like an offset just to correct the position a little bit. But yeah, let's see. I think this one's going to be pretty good as far as bugs go. Text padding, all the sides. All of that works. We got our alignment and wrapping. Yeah, like I was trying to say with the basic titles, I don't think I finished my thought on it. But I tend to know where templates break or where I forget to do something. So I just kind of check those areas over just to make sure that that's all good. And I don't make the same mistakes I've made in the past. When do you guys think we're getting the next DaVinci update? It's been a little while since the last one came out. Been a few weeks. And what do you want to see in the new update? That should be the other question. I know we talked about audio, for sure. Like audio waveform stuff, and just being able to get stuff to react to it. That'd be really cool. And in these templates, actually, the callout ones, this is an example of when I'm using the on-change control to update stuff. So every time you change the anchor, it's going through and updating all the expressions that are actually like positioning stuff. Whereas in past versions, it would just be like if expressions inside of those, like, okay, if it's set to top left, then this one, if top right, then this one. So it was, the expressions were like 4 times as long to get the same effect. So that's where a lot of the performance boosts have come from in this version. Just simplifying that kind of stuff. That on-change control it's been awesome. Uh-oh, there was a crash. I have to check that. So it was when I was doing the line animation. That's weird because it works. Check that out a little bit more. Make myself a sticky note of that one. Update must be coming soon. I really want to open in color page shortcut. That would be nice, like the open in Fusion. Because yeah, that's really annoying. I wonder if you can set up a keyboard shortcut for that. Open in. Nope. Only open in Fusion page. Nope, that'd be nice. Is there a way to actually use the resolution of the image when using Whip Magnify as an effect? I found that it kept on resetting to the timeline resolution. We were doing it manually for the camera comparison videos, opening each clip, putting it in the Fusion page. Actual resolution of the... Oh, so that way it's not like working in like 1080 when you want the full 4K image, I assume is what you're saying. Because there is one way to cheat it. Like in this case, we have a... That's not a great example. Like it really only works if you're using a image that's in the same aspect ratio. But in this case, it's a 4K image in a 1080p project. If I were to add in any of those effects right now, like let's say with Magnify, it would be zooming into a 1080p version of it. Like that's just one of those stupid limitations of how it's integrated right now. So as I magnify this up, you can see that we're losing some quality. But if we right click on this image and do render in place, we can render at the source resolution, which is going to be the clip's resolution, not the project's. So in that case, what Magnify is going to update. And when I render this out, you can see, well, first it's going to change the size of it. Oh, maybe it's glitching out. Maybe that doesn't work anymore. Yeah, it broke it. I guess Fusion is the only way to do it. That's something I really hope that Blackmagic fixes. Yeah, the iPhone photos that are 5,000 by 4,000. Yeah, try that as doing weird zoom things. Yeah. See, it's the integration of it's so weird, and they just need to add a way that we can get the full resolution of it. Like, it can be scaled. Yeah, I don't know exactly how they do it, but... Also setting the timeline resolution to 12K. I'm sure your systems love that. That's a lot of pixels. Especially for anything Fusion related. It's gonna be so nice having text wrapping and all of these new tools. I've had so many people ask me for that in alignment. Alright, for anyone here who has editor titles currently, what is your favorite title pack? Or which one do you use the most? Out of the 9. And if you don't have it, tell me what I need to add to get you to buy it. Glitch ones are amazing, you love those. Yeah, so I actually updated those a bit. So I simplified it to 2 different glitch styles. And I think made them look better. So I'll give you a preview of them. So this is the new glitch style that we have. It just is the base one. The controls are quite a bit easier to use. I think, or just more intuitive, I guess. Change the aspect of the glitch map now. So more like if you want tall versus squished. All the glow stuff. And then the slide. Slide looks great, as usual. That's just such a cool effect. Shout out Andrew Kramer and Video Copilot. It's all built off of inspiration from that. Yeah, so you'll have to let me know how you like these new glitch titles. Alright, call out titles. Let's see, we just got a few more to go over here. The biggest thing to check is just making sure you can move it around. That's the most likely spot to have an error. You like the cinematic titles? Yeah, so for those I also simplified a little bit too. In the current version there's 70. This version there's only 50. So I took 20 of them out. But I didn't actually remove any designs. I just combined some of the ones that had overlap that you could make anyways. So it doesn't clutter your effects library quite as much. There's still a lot of them. But yeah, cinematic's pretty cool. We'll check those ones out next. I think I'm gonna do a video on creating glitch maps. I've wanted to do that for a while. Oh, well, I have you guys. I've been thinking about a new pack of a bunch of just like fusion tools. And still working on how I kind of want to package it up. But the idea is it's all stuff that you can build yourself. But stuff that just takes a little while to set up and customize. So let me show you a few of them. See what you guys think. If it's something I should put together. Whoops. So I have a bunch of different versions or different tools. Like one of them is a glitch map. So it generates like just a really easy to customize like blocky pattern that you can add a bunch of stuff to. You can add seed. You can displace it further, and then you can also, like if it's animating, you can add in like a stop motion effect to it. So this will take a while to set up yourself, but it's just like a package tool. And the nice thing about all of these tools, if I end up making them, when you open it up, you'll be able to go in and see how I made it and then further customize it. So you still have full control over it versus like a fully packed up macro, right? So you can go into the fast noise, you can customize every setting. Yeah. So that's a glitch map. What else we have? Like a grid creator, because I hate the built-in one that makes the built-in grid. So that's like one of the tools. What else we got? An outline. So, you know, outlines are easy. You just have to use an erode delete in the background, but it's a lot of setup every time you want to do it. So this just does it for you. You have an outline thickness. And that's the thing, like, some of these nodes, or some of these effects, you need like 3 or 4 nodes. And then if you want to go customize it, you have to jump between all those nodes. This simplifies it there as well. And then you can, again, see how it's built. Inner shadow, that's a cool one. So, like, you guys kind of get the idea of the type of tools that this would include. And then some visual effects stuff as well. Chromatic aberration. Corner radius tool, which is fun. You can add corner radius to anything, even just an image. What else we got? An edge blur. This is a more visual effects one. It needs 2 inputs to work, but edge blur, light wrap, long shadow. That's always a fun effect. Again, takes a bit of setup. This just makes it really easy. So yeah, and if you guys have any suggestions for other tools to add, let me just read through the list. I got chromatic aberration, corner radius, edge blur, glitch map, a grid, inner shadow, light wrap, long shadow, and outline. So if you guys have any other tools like that, like something that an effect that you use all the time inside of Fusion, and you don't like having to set it up every time, you don't like having to jump through 3 or 4 nodes to customize little things and tweak it to getting looking good, let me know, because those are perfect for this pack. And if that's something you guys like, I'll have to package it up. All I ask is you do not use the word buddy in the name of the product. Do you have something with buddy in it? Or something similar to this pack? You're sold. Inner shadow's nice. How do I do that corner radius? So there's 2 ways to do it. You can do it with blurs, and that's pretty fun. But the current version is set up with erode delete. So that's, again, the cool thing about these, is once you get it, you can just open it, and you can see exactly how I built it. So we use 2 erode deletes. The first one is just going to shrink it down. And then the second one is going to expand it. And so it expands it the same amount that it shrunk it down. And on the expand one, the filter is a circle. So it rounds off the edges. And then that, it's corrected. I just, shrink the values so we don't get any like softness or anything, because otherwise what will happen is if I crank this up too much, the edges will soften. So I correct it, and then I just apply that as a mask over the original image, so that way we don't lose any quality from the original image, but we get the rounded edges. How do I do inner shadow? I've tried doing it with the erode delete, but it only looks okay. I just use a I just invert it and then apply the shadow. Let's see, inner shadow. So I'm using a brightness and contrast, gain at 0, lift at 1. So I can invert the image. So anything that was solid is now transparent. And then I apply a shadow to that. And then I just merge that on top of the original image. You've made something similar to that? Not all of that, though. Okay, so I mean, if it already exists, I might not end up making it. But yeah, I thought it'd be a cool idea. I won't call it Buddy. I have a different name in mind. And that's the cool thing about this too, is like a lot of these tools can be found in Reactor, like plugins, or like people have made one-off tools of them. But the cool thing about it is you can make all of them in so many different ways. Like there's different ways to make the shadow, there's different ways to make the corner radius. So this is just a collection of my ways to do it, packaged up in a way that people can learn from. So yeah, there's room for everyone to make these type of tools. You'll buy 10. Ah, sweet. For you, that'll be $400 a piece. But no, I'll have to finish that off and package it up. So, any other ideas? Let me know. That way I can get them included in the first version. Like if there's a certain glow or, you know, shadow effect. I need to know these things. Alright, what are we on? Cinematic titles. These ones I just want to go through and make sure I can move them. I know everything else is going to be working pretty much perfect. I say that, then I'm going to have like the most issues with cinematic titles, but it should all be good. A lot of times what I do is I have the title position control that I reference here on like just like a dummy node that I use to organize all the controls. And then somewhere in the process of building it, I forget to actually link it up with the title itself, so it just does nothing. So that's happened in the past that like 2 or 3 titles from a collection will slip through and people just can't move them. So they have to go to the normal inspector controls and just shift it like it was an image. But so now I do my best to avoid that. I don't want to repeat the same thing. An emboss effect. Maybe a triple glow. Yeah, I've been playing around with glow stuff too. Like not quite like exponential glow, but just something that looks better for visual effects. And maybe that's a good idea, is packaging it up as just call it like double glow, triple glow, that type of stuff. But yeah, we'll see. It's hard to get tools like that look good for pretty much everything and have a simple control like that in light wrap. Light wrap's a little difficult to package up. And most people do light wrap wrong, at least in my opinion. They either like lose out on color information or it's set up way too complicated. So having that's kind of why I want to make like my version of the tool that is set up in a way that's accurate, runs fast, easy to control. And I've had it built for a while. I've showcased it in a few of my tutorials, or just the setup for it. You guys also get a quick preview of all of these titles. 2-line letter rotate. There it is. Like a quick showcase. Flipped around. Yeah, so cinematic titles have a bunch of improvements with just how it measures stuff in the background. So it goes a lot quicker, and then also for the like middle animations, where it like changes the pivot point basically. That's going to be a lot more accurate, and it won't be influenced by animations. Like in the previous version, that pivot point would slightly shift, and you could kind of see it with how it was moving when it was animating. And that won't happen anymore. I got that fixed. And then they all have the text alignment controls, which is nice, as well as text wrapping. Sweet, 50 of them. All done. Clean titles are... This one might be my favorite title pack, or like the one that I use the most. They're just so simple. They look nice. They're easy to use in pretty much any project. Like it's fun to put them at the bottom. It's have like a chapter marker or something. And this new version makes it so easy with the just the on-screen controls. This one should be good. I've had these ones done like the longest, so I've had time to actually use them in projects. You rebuilt Patrick's proto, found it a bit leggy, so you simplified it. text preset if you want to see it. Maybe any ideas on how I can improve it. Have you seen his new Proto? Or did you rebuild Proto V3? Because he just recently updated that with a bunch of cool new stuff. And yeah, go ahead and send it over. It'd be cool to take a look. Ah, that's right. That's how it's set up. Oh, it's in the text preset. Okay. I guess I didn't read the last half of your message. Oh yeah, iPhone season. Yeah, I'm sure you guys are just swamped. You have so much to do. Alright, so I assume... Oh yeah, Proto up here. So I guess you just have the... basically the Proto styles that you want to use built in here. Which makes total sense. I don't know how big this is going to be. Oh my goodness, that's fun. Is the alpha divide node actually doing anything? Or is that just added in? Because I would just leave that disabled. If that's just like a filler node. I wonder if you could simplify just how many bitmaps are here. But no, this one would take a long time to to dive into. Proto is a big package Patrick put together. Yeah, I would just kind of go through and see which nodes you can delete. And then get a similar, if not the same effect. Just by rearranging stuff a bit. Is it like, I mean, it feels like there's too many merges, but I would assume that each one of those has like a mask option or something. So yeah, go through and disable extra nodes like that, but yeah, start with that. Yeah, if you want to send your macro over, I can take a look at it. I don't know, do you have me on Discord? You love your merges? It's like one of the best nodes. I can't blame you. They're so versatile. Line breaking. Yeah, I'm excited to get this released. Just be done with it. It's been a lot of work putting these together. If you wanna email me, then email me the template. Just do contact@whiptemplates.com. Yeah, I don't have my friend requests open on Discord because otherwise I get way too many. Should be using multi-merge a lot more. Nope. I don't like multi-merge. Just stick with your merge. I think multi-merge is way overhyped for what it is. There's one really good use case for it, and that's if you're making a template that you want to be able to rearrange layers in somehow. Because that way what you can do is with the multi-merge node. Hate how it does that. Okay. Multi-merge. Like if I want a red color, a blue color. Like in the multi-merge, you can publish this. Oh, I forgot. Can't do it with the background node. Let's do green. You can publish this to the edit page, and then you can, rearrange effects without actually going into Fusion. So that's the only use case that I really see for the multi-merge. The thing I don't like about it is how everything's nested away. Like, it's hard to see what's going on. Like, if I'm not clicking on it, how do I know that the blue is above the green? Other than the fact that I can see the blue right now. But it just hides stuff when I prefer just having a merge for each one. I don't think multi-merge is faster than using two merge nodes because it's doing the same thing. So this just makes a lot more sense to me personally, but yeah. Do you think that I should change to After Effects or keep on DaVinci? That's very situational. Like, what do you do? What do you use DaVinci or After Effects for? And like, do you find that in DaVinci you're missing something from it? Yep, standard merge node is the way to go. You can tell I'm passionate about it. I always see people use them and act like they're the best thing. Which they're cool. Like, they make the node graph look a little bit better if you don't have like 10 going into it. But it doesn't really add any benefit, and for my workflow, I really don't like using them. But if people want to use them, it's totally fine. You just won't catch me using them. I do have a, like, when I first came out, I think the video I have hypes them up a little bit. But I hadn't really used them at all. So I was just kind of excited. Every tool has its use case. We use Final Cut for Magic Mask quite a bit. Find it more consistent than Resolves. That's interesting. Is that including with Magic Mask 2, I assume? Yep, that's the email. Just add a .com to the end. I know that the message would have blocked otherwise. And let me know when you sent that, and I'll check my email. Yeah, as long as it's not too advanced of a tool like a proto level thing, I can review it. Those tools that take weeks to develop. Should definitely revisit my 3D projection tutorial. Come back to it ever so often to refresh my memory. Yeah, that would be a cool one. I've wanted to do that. I gotta find a cool like use case to use it. Make a big tutorial out of it. That was a fun one. I enjoyed making that video. But yes, it is definitely a bit outdated now. Weeks lapse in YouTube video pending for 2 years. Gotta get on that, Tyler. Come on. We're excited. You keep hyping it up. It's right around the corner. How's that? No, I had fun. My last visual effects thing that I did was laser eyes for ResolveCon. That one was fun. But that was a VIP session. Tyler knows that was fun. He knows that the takeaway from that is if you're a fly, don't mess with me. So anyone that's been there gets that joke. I know, I'm a tease. It's on its way. Okay, I'll check that in just a second. I'm gonna go grade the next video. Nice talking to you. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. Tyler's too busy streaming. Where's the DaVinci content? Tyler, I saw the thing you did on your stream last night. It's crazy. Soap clipped it and put it in the staff chat. I was not expecting that. Oh, thanks, William. Yeah. How's your stuff been going? What cool stuff have you been cooking up? Self-exposing me like that. I don't know. I was not ready for it. I'd play it, but I don't want to get demonetized. Too much stuff trying to get it all finished. Yep. I mean, that's how I felt with the titles. Just like it was such a big undertaking to go through and update all of that. But no, we just gotta do one thing at a time, and eventually we'll get it. All right, we're checking it out. Spark Effects. Hey, it's on sale. Look at that. You've got a lot of stuff added to this. Yeah, a bunch of cool stuff that you guys should check out. Spark Effects. SparkEffectsStudio.com is what it is. There we go. I'll have to review some of this. It's been a while since I've checked it out. That's cool. Yeah. Yeah, that music might get you. Alright, see if I got that email. There it is. We're just going to install it. So are these titles or effects? Where am I looking? And I guess what's the question about it? There's some tech stuff I'm doing. Curious to see if it still works. See if it works with your new tech stuff. Yeah, like what does it need to reference? Because all of my text stuff is still like it uses the main text box, if that's what you're talking about. Like if it's reprogramming the text or whatever. Yeah, I think I hooked you up with a copy of EditorTitles, so once the update comes out, you can sign in your account, download it, try it out, let me know. Or if I need to change anything to get it compatible. Oh guys, timer titles. So much better. Renders a lot faster. The UI is so clean. It looks really good. So anyone that uses those will be really happy. What you can improve, animated things. Should be under effects, cool. You like the timer? Yeah, and you got all of these different ones that you can use. This one's cool, it'll just like bounce around. What do we got? We got the one here that you can do like the, here, let's do it. The sponsored segment countdown. You have the nice countdown, and then let's see if I pick the right one. Yeah, where it slows down, it reaches the end. Nope, this is backwards. Oh, we want this one to be that. This one none. There we go. Yeah, so it goes fast at the beginning and then slows down as it reaches the end. Anyways, it's enough of that. Let's grab some cool... I like this shot. This is the one I use in liquid glass, I think. Alright, effects. Let's see if we can find this. Easy effects. That's probably what it is. There we go. Alright, so we got position, just all the transform controls here. Enable size. Oh, so it's like a animation thing. And set the length of it for in and out. Is there a reason you can do negative values? I would say try and disable that. That's just a bit annoying. Since it doesn't show anything, it doesn't make sense to have that in there. Spin. One thing you could do with this is convert it to like a skew control for the angle, which is the normal one. It's this thing right here. I always like using those for values that aren't going to be like between 0 and 5 or whatever. Yeah, same thing with these ones if these are the spin. Oh no, this is moving. I see. We got a glitch on here. And a highlight. What does this do? Should this be doing something? I don't see it. Maybe I'm just looking in the wrong spot. A timer box that slowly burns away. When it reaches 0, it's completely burned away. Oh, like fire? That'd be cool. I don't know how well that'd work for a template, because I'd have to make my own fire effects. I'd have an excuse to do that. That'd be fun. I've actually thought that'd be a fun series to do. Recreating visual effects. Like trying to recreate like ground fire effects or like a muzzle flash. And then have like action visual effects partnered with the video. So like, okay, you can make them, but just go get some professional ones. But it'd be a fun thing if people are interested in watching that. It's a light sweep. Okay. So maybe I messed it up. Let's try adding in a new version. Yeah, it'd be a ton of fun, and it gives me an excuse to like blow stuff up, set stuff on fire. It'd be awesome. There it is. Okay, that makes sense. It's like a random fast noise thing. Got a bunch of effects built in. Is this that effect that you were talking about that's similar to the fusion tools that I was wanting to make, or is that something else that you have? Got some shake. Alright, see what this node graph looks like. Oh yeah. Bunch of stuff going on. So you got nodes for all of the different animations. It's nice. And so I assume the buttons just enable or disable pass-through. That'd be my guess. You can find out. Yep. Oh, and then, okay, there's disable one. That makes sense. Yeah. No, I mean, it's a cool setup. Negative there for when you animate it off and on the screen. I don't think with size you need negative though, because transform nodes can't go negative ever, right? Unless, does it just add these together? Like if this is set to 1. Yeah, you shouldn't need negative values on that, but then do you sell this, or is this just a internal tool that you make? I'd assume because of the branding it's something that you have public. All right, what else should we look at here? A bunch of these I've kind of already tested, so we shouldn't need to go through all of them. We'll just double check position on these. Base it off of Asher's animation engine, figured out how to mix it up. One macro. Sold a few, not as many as you'd like. Hey, you gotta start somewhere. Yeah, I've done a bunch of similar stuff with that for my whip animate tool. That I have the anim engine powering that. And then just a bunch of buttons to enable nodes, remove expressions, do all of that. I don't have the fancy like shine thing going across it or any of that, or a glitch built in, but notice all the essential animations. I'd say kind of look at that as reference, but then if you're selling it, don't just copy it. Have you guys seen the stuff Van Beek Films is doing? I've been building some tools for him, partnering with him to create some cool templates. Wondering if any of you guys have picked those up. He does a lot of real estate stuff. Really cool channel if you guys aren't subscribed. Don't copy what? Oh, I was just saying, I don't know if you've seen my whip animate tool. But it's kind of what you got there. I was just saying, like, you can use that as like inspiration for how to make stuff look and whatnot. I was saying, don't just, you know, make a rip-off and resell it, which I don't think you'd do. I was just kind of joking around. But yeah, this tool, so it has my anim engine is like the main thing that powers it. And I can come in here and like enable a size animation. I can enable a position animation, you know, just stack all these together. And then a bunch of cool stuff, like it has a mask built in, has shadow, I can do an outline, middle animations. So it's a pretty complicated tool. It's really complicated in the background, but even just from the user side, there's a lot of stuff you can do, and it takes a little while to master. But that's my editor collection, if you don't have that. Gotcha, I won't, I promise. Yeah, no worries. Yep, Tyler sent the link. Yeah, he makes a bunch of cool stuff. We made, we got like a pan transition, or not pan, a lumifade and a warp transition, which is pretty cool. And then I just made a disappear effect for him. For his new, I think that was his newest video. So that one's been fun. And there's a new one coming that I don't want to spoil too much, but it's going to be awesome. It's motion blur. It's going to be good. It uses the like optical flow system basically. So it works on the free version, but it's way faster than any other template or even just the base thing that you can set up. It's still slow, it won't play back in real time, but it's a lot faster. So if you guys do speed ramping and that kind of stuff, you'll want to pick up that tool when it comes out. You do have it. The problem is, as a new editor, there's so many options. Who's intimidated? Yeah. Yeah, Magic Animate by Alex is an amazing tool. Magic Animate and Whip Animate have a very similar feature set. Same with Whip Zoom and Magic Zoom. But we just have different ways about doing stuff. Like I have my anim engine. He has his animation system. They work a little bit different. Both of them have their pros and cons, but I like my tools because I built them in the way I wanted to see them. So that's why they're my favorite. But Tyler, it's slow. Be ready. Vector motion blur just sucks. Because it's optical flow. That's it. You need an optical flow node into vector motion blur. So you can generate the vectors. Kyler, did you see like the Fusion Tools pack that I was showcasing? Were you here for that? I don't know if you at least weren't in the chat then, I don't think. I wanted to show you those. See what you think. Yeah, that's why you've avoided it for so long. Yeah, I mean, even with a really good system, it's slow. But the tool I made for him, I've got him somewhere here. Yeah, it's a lot faster of a version. Get called into a meeting. Cool, I'll show you. So I'm working on a pack and it sounds like people want it. It's just a bunch of like fusion tools. And the goal with it is to simplify something. So in the case of light wrap, you know how to build it. It's not too difficult to set up, but it takes a lot of time. And then when you want to customize something, you have to go through like 4 or 5 different nodes to customize it. So this pack would be fixing those types of problems and also providing a learning opportunity for people who don't understand how it works. So like in the case of light wrap, I don't have a setup to actually use it, but it adds in just a group macro that has a bunch of controls to change like the spread, the fall off, smooth the edges out. You can see different preview modes for it, and then you can refine the background and stuff if you have like a bad edge or foreground. And then at any point you can open it up, you can see exactly how it's built. You can customize everything if you want to go in and change like one of the apply modes or something. Yeah, and then there's just a bunch of stuff like that. So we have, let's see some other examples. Let's use this one. There, all right. So like there is a outline tool. So you can add an outline around something. Again, really simple effect, but it just takes a little while to set up and getting the erode delay into a background node, into a merge. So this just does it for you. Has all of the controls you need in the inspector in one node, in one place. We've got a corner radius, so you can add corner radius to PNG images, which is pretty fun. Let's see what else we got. Inner shadow. Again, all the controls are just right here in the one node, which is pretty cool. Long shadow. Chromatic aberration. So there's like a advanced one that uses like displace. And so in that case, it gets more intense along the edges. And then there's just a simple one, which just basically shifts all the pixels evenly. And again, you can open it up and see exactly how it's built, which is cool. And I don't know if I do like tutorials for each one, like why I built it this way, how to build it yourself or whatever, or if I just leave some notes in there, or if I'd even do that at all. But yeah, the idea is people can reverse engineer them. This one actually is a super cool setup. Like, we got to see if you guys can guess how I made this. How did I make the grid effect? It's not with the grid node. Or the grid lines one, whatever that's called. How would you go through and build this? You can change the cells, and it's perfectly spaced to the edges. Then you can change the aspect, thickness, and you can even do this to add in corner radius. What's everyone's theories? Just a basic explanation. Yeah, no, it'd be really good for beginners, but I also want to have it geared towards, like, professionals, too. Like, it's just ways to speed up the workflow. Like, you add in something quick, you get, like, the foundation done, and then the professionals can open it up and really fine-tune any details that they want. Be good promotion if I showed them how to build it. Yeah, like, it could be, hey, this tool has a mini course that comes along with it, too, and how to build all of these tools, and just, like, 5 to 10 minute videos. S rectangle, not solid, into a transform node with the edge set to wrap. You guys are pretty close. You can't do it with a transform node though. And you just want to use a normal rectangle. But if I did that with a transform, I guess you can do it that way. It's just not optimized. Yeah, you can bring that down, set it to wrap. That's basically what it is, but it's just a more optimized version of it. So I have a really... Oh no, I guess I didn't do that. What was I thinking? I don't know. Anyways, it's basically that. I have a mask just setting the square shape, or it uses the aspect to set that shape. And then... just goes over a merge, because I needed it over a background. That's why I ended up doing it that way. And then just a bunch of expressions. So yeah, it's just the one shape, set to wrap. Pretty cool. So you guys got it, basically. Yeah, like I wouldn't have all of the tutorials publicly available to anyone that hasn't bought them. How it would most likely be, though, is I'm doing a video on some sort of compositing. I'm like, hey, this is how you build light wrap. I'd show it. This is how you can build it for this effect. Or, using my tool, you can just add it in a few clicks, get the same result. Like, it'd be that type of thing. In most cases. But then, like, I was thinking, like, just an extra, in addition to getting the tools, you'd also get, like, videos going in depth explaining how to build it, maybe if there's a different way to build it, what each node does, why I did it that way, that kind of stuff. And that part's just a thought at this point. I don't know if I'll actually do it. And there's a glitch map builder. Just the best way to build glitch maps is with a resize node. Yep, pretty simple. You really only need these first two nodes. But anyways. Yeah, so I kind of want to put that together. So Tyler, if you have any ideas for effects like that, you know, stuff that you use pretty consistently, like an inner shadow, light wrap, edge blur, that kind of stuff, let me know. Oh, T-ball game? Awesome. Well, hope you guys win. I'll be cheering for you. Yeah, cool. All right, well, have a good rest of your night. I think I'm actually going to be heading out here soon, too. Coming up on 2 hours to stream. I don't even know what I was doing. DaVinci just crashed. Okay. Might keep going for 8 minutes here. That way we do 2 hours on the dot. So if anyone has any questions, last minute questions, get them in. And then the plan is to publish this pack on Monday. We'll see if I can do it. There's a bunch of behind the scenes stuff I need to do yet, in addition to finalizing bug checks and whatnot. That one you're really interested in. Made some glitch, but they don't really look that good. Yeah, I mean, the best way to make it is just like a mosaic blur type thing. Like that, yeah, you just... Here, I'll just show you the tool. Might as well. Glitch map creator. So instead of using a mosaic blur, the method that I always use is I just make the fast noise really low resolution. So in this case, it's 13 by 259. And then what I do is I put that into a resize node that's set to the project settings. And you need to make sure the filter method is at nearest neighbor. By default, it looks like this. But if you set it to nearest neighbor, it gives you those harsh edges. And so that way I have these two controls changing the resolution of the fast noise node. So we get that blocky texture. And then just adding a displace after it. Like width itself is the texture. You can add in this cool displace effect. And then just the gradient to customize that, but yeah. I also got to make a stop motion effect. That's one I need to make too. Just a really basic one that works in the free version, because the built-in stop motion for some reason is a studio only, even though it's a ridiculously easy effect to make in Fusion. I should actually make sure I have that on the list. Yeah, stop motion, that's on there. I also got to start getting the main timeline set up then for the promo video. I'll work on that after. We were close, but using a mosaic blur and a fast noise. Yeah, that's always been the popular way of doing it. And that's kind of why I want to make a video about it anyways, is because the resize node is just a better way of doing it. It's faster, uses the built-in nodes, and you can do different aspects. Like, that was the wrong setting. Like the mosaic blur, there's no way to like make some of the pixels longer. Or like make it so that they're not squares, if that makes sense. Like what you would have to do is add in a transform node and then just, you know, stretch it like that. But then it's getting fuzzy, you can set that to nearest neighbor, but you're still wasting, you're rendering all these pixels that you don't need. So using resize, it's the best way to do it. And it's a pretty easy setup too. Like you don't need any expressions. You can just come in, customize it like that, shrink it down. And that way you can get like the long ones like that. Oh, one more cool thing I can show off. Where are we at? Credit titles. I've been playing around with importing CSV files. So for this, I can import like lines 3 through 8. And then I can select a CSV file and it imports all of them into the columns. Whichever ones I selected. So if I wanted, I could import like the entire credit file into the one column, which won't really look that great, but you know, super easy for people that make a lot of these credits. And if you have like this one where it's 4 lines, it'll just split it up in between all of those. So there's some like placeholder things like role and name, production category that you'd have to clean up, but Yeah, incredibly easy to do that. So I'm excited. There's been a bunch of people that have asked me about adding that feature. To shrink that way down. Delete that. Oh, I did also want to update the credit image. Or credit logo, I should call it. Never mind, I did add that. We're good. Let's just make sure that this version has it. It does not. All right, well, I think we're going to call that a day for the stream. So, yeah, thank you, everyone, for tuning in. It's been fun. Eliminated a bunch of bugs in editor titles. I think I have a few more to find, but hopefully Monday we will get the full release. So pick it up if you have not already. That way you get the update right away. But yeah. Have a good weekend. Have some fun editing, and we'll see you another time.